welcome to Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Today I have with me trainer Dane. Hey Dane, what's up?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for saying yes. I'm super excited to chat with you. This is going to be a fun conversation.
Amen.
All right, so I'm going to read you a little bit about Dane and then we're going to jump into it. So with a family history of type 2 diabetes, obesity, and premature death, trainer Dane Boyle learned firsthand that dumbbells and treadmills alone are not the answer to the world's health and wellness problems. One day at a family barbecue, trainer Dane's father said, "Son, someday this will be you," referring to being overweight. At 5'10", carrying over 260 pounds, he was on a path to type 2 diabetes, obesity, and probably premature death. Trainer Dane is more than a lifestyle wellness coach. With over 25 years in the health, fitness, and wellness professions, Dane is an inspiring, caring teacher. He believes in you and walks with you every step of the way as he actively works with you towards creating the path for you to create and manifest your dreams. Wake up and be amazing with trainer Dane. Your body is for life. I love that. I love that. Your body is for life. So tell me about yourself.
So, I have a graduate degree in exercise science. I've been in health and wellness most of my adult life. I lost my father 6 years ago this week. My dad was a physician, but he was overweight, and food was his drug of choice. Yeah. So not only, mentally he understood how to do it, but emotionally he didn't. And
that's big right there, right?
But it's true because food was his drug of choice. It demanded nothing of him. A sleeve of Oreos and a Dr. Pepper, it reaches a part of your brain that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And so watching that, I worked for my dad for about 10 years. I watched him love his patients so much that it would drive me nuts as his manager of his office, because I'd be like, "Dr. Boyle, the lobby's full. Could you hurry up?" And he'd go, "Okay." And he'd go do whatever the heck he wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I learned was to care for people first, leave an impact, and understand that it's so much more than just running, jumping, and cartwheels that will make you physically healthy. And one of my programs and courses I'm finishing up currently, and I have a private group called Think and Be Fit, because at the end of the day, I think it all begins with what's between your ears.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And so like your Make Kindness Loud is like, oh, it speaks to my heart. I was blessed with a big smile just like you.
Yeah, you gotta use it.
You do. I want to share my heart. My dad was very compassionate and listened to people. And I'm blessed to do the same thing. Even today, my full-time gig is I'm building other things as I'm a partner trainer with Camp Gladiator. So we do all of our fitness outdoors. It was a beautiful day in South Central Texas. And 50 or 60 people are out there today. And we sang happy birthday, wow. Right? We celebrated a camper that had 700 check-ins. That's battled for her life and been in ICU and actually flatlined several times. One of my former middle school athletes, so I was a high school teacher and coach many years ago. So I celebrated his birthday and we sang happy birthday, even though, last time I saw him, he was 15 and he came to camp today. So that's kind of who I am. Like I said, my mission is to educate, motivate, and empower you to lifelong independent living.
I love that. So you say that your dad, said, this is going to be you. This is your future self. What impact did that have on you when he said that?
So it's interesting. My dad loved people so much so, to be honest with you, when I was younger, it drove me nuts. Yeah. Right? Because especially as I started my family and my young children, my dad was blessed. When I was a little boy, my dad went to medical school, started when I was in 3rd grade, finished when I was in 8th grade. So I used to go to medical school with him to hang out with him, right? You want to be with your mom or dad. And Mike always said someday he'd have a swimming pool. That was like his dream, was to have a home with a pool. Well, he built one. My father built one for my children and my sister's children. So we had these big barbecues and big people. My dad was a big dude. Was 5'9", about 300 pounds. Lots of his friends were, but he celebrated and loved with food. He just did. And he didn't mean anything, I don't think, flippant, or I don't think he ever said a hurtful thing in his life. He was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And I decided to go to school. I got my undergraduate degree. I was 31. My daughter was 10. My boys were 8 and 7. And so you're just living. I live in Texas. You eat breakfast tacos. You eat barbecue. You just do.
Yeah. Right. That's what you do.
That's what you do. And he just kind of patted me on the back because I was probably taking another heaping of whatever, ribs and chicken and all kinds of stuff. And Dad was like, "This will be you." And it just spoke to me that no way, I don't want to let that happen. And I literally went out the next day. We have a shelter, animal shelter in our neighborhood. And I went down and I got a puppy Labrador. And I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and my heart and soul is still with Philadelphia sports. And I named her Philly. And for well over 10 years, she was my running partner, walking partner, and we stayed healthy together for a long time.
I love that. So I love that you heard the message, but you just didn't let it sit there. You literally the next day took action. So talk about taking action.
Well, and everything that I teach today, I've been blessed to be a middle school teacher, a high school teacher, or adjunct college professor. It's about taking action. So in school, let's use college. If you have a syllabus and you have all of what's due on September 3rd, 5th, 7th, if you don't ever take action, you're going to fail the course.
Correct.
Right? If you're unhappy and you don't make a change somewhere in your life, you're going to remain unhappy.
Yeah.
So in my world, people often come because they want to be physically fit. They want to lose weight. And then I want them to learn that we can do all that through emotional health also, and take action, show up. Something is always better than nothing. That's the biggest issue I think I have with what I do in the physical realm is most people feel like, if I don't go 5 days a week, it's a waste of money. That's not true. It's consistency in the doing that's important.
Right.
And 1 day a week is better than 0 days a week.
And then just build on it from there.
Absolutely. One day at a time, one step at a time. It's 1 minute of reading every day. It's 1 minute of prayer every day. It's 1 minute, one extra thing of water every day. Just a little bit. I think it's the Atomic Habits. He says 1% better every day.
Oh, I love that. 1%.
1%.
Yeah.
But we don't think that way. We think big and ginormous.
Go home. Exactly.
That's it. Right.
If I'm not doing it 7 days a week, then I'm not doing right.
Right. And then you did it 6 days, which was phenomenal, but you feel like a failure.
And then you get overwhelmed and then the cycle starts again.
Absolutely. So small step. Think big, start small.
Ooh, that's a hashtag. Think big, start small.
Think big, start small.
I love that.
Yeah, I think
it literally is one step at a time.
In everything. So what you're doing with trying to make the world a kinder, gentler place, it was probably one conversation you might have had with your nieces and nephews.
Yeah, it was several conversations with one particular niece that she lived with me during her high school years. And so she would, I would tell her the common things: clean your room, wash the dishes, do your homework.
Right.
And before I was on my kindness journey, I was super, super, super sarcastic. And so she would say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so I'm thinking, listen, you little 15-year-old, do your homework, clean your room, you know what I'm saying? And so that went on for about 6 to 8 months or so. And then fast forward another 8 months, someone said something to me that was totally off the wall. And I thought to myself, well, why did you say it like that? And then her little voice popped in and said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so my thing is that if I'm going to be this role model, if I'm going to be this person, this important person in my nieces and nephews' lives, then I need to model behavior that I want to see them to be good and kind humans. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I was a mean human back then, but I was definitely a super sarcastic, and I wasn't living my kindest life. And so that's how it all started, literally with me wanting to be better so that they can see better, and then they can be better as well.
Oh, it's so funny you say that, because as I was a little boy, I got in trouble so much for not what I said, but how I said it. And every now and in my relationship with my wife, she's like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. So it's still a very cognitive piece to think, what am I trying to project and get across? So it's not what you say. you were talking about maybe not being the kinder, gentler. There's an old rock song by the band Styx, and somewhere in it, he says something like, "You're an angry young man, but you have the world in your hands." And I got told I was that for a long time.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was, it's part of being a teenager, or
Yeah.
you've got to figure out who you are. I don't think I was never truly mean, but for whatever reason, I had a chip. I still do have a chip on my shoulder. Don't tell anybody. But I try to mold it and shape it and put it in the right direction to help other people and empower them to believe. That's where I've taken that. So I've listened to that song recently, and it's like, wow, I hope that I didn't, like I said, I never called anybody a bad name necessarily, or I didn't get in a fist fight or whatever after being a little kid rolling on the playground or whatever you might do. But I literally want the world to be a better place, hopefully because I was in it and I left an impact.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were just talking before we went live that it's the type of impact that you want to make, because everyone makes an impact, right?
Absolutely.
But it's about what type of impact are you leaving? What type of imprint are you leaving in this world? What type of footsteps are you leaving? And what do you want to be remembered for?
Right.
And so that is something that each individual person needs to answer for themselves. No one can answer that for you. And you can change it. Literally, you can be on a path and then decide, oh, I don't want to do that anymore, and then jump on over and do something differently. So life, that's the beautiful thing about life, is that you can always change for the better. Always.
Right. So I can old school movie you to death. I can personal development you to death. And in the movie A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I love that movie.
When he's a little boy and he asks his dad, "Can a man change his stars?" The answer is yes.
Yes, you can.
And absolutely yes. So talk about wanting to change a path to leave a legacy. So we collect coffee mugs. I mean, they just are stacked up. It's an easy, cheap souvenir. When you go somewhere, you pull it out. I remember being in New Orleans or San Francisco or New York or wherever you might be. We also do pint beer glasses. And I try to rearrange them all the time so it's not the same cup, because it just gives me a chance to reflect. Oh, I remember doing this or whatever. And I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago, I reached up in the very back of my cabinet and there was a coffee mug and it said, "Wake up and be amazing."
Ooh,
and it spoke to me, and I have not stopped saying it pretty much every single day. So whether it's Instagram or in live in front of people, I always say, "Wake up and be amazing," and grab your daily Danish. So whatever I have to say, and that's it. And so that's the brand. It's pretty cool. I've made some t-shirts and I see them around town. But it puts a sparkle on your face. Why not wake up and be amazing? Go do amazing things. There's only one of you. There'll ever be one of you, and it makes you pretty special.
Makes you so special, because the chances of you being here are crazy.
Again, amazing.
Like, they're amazing. It is an amazing thing that you made it to this earth.
Right. Absolutely. And so I'm blessed every morning, Monday through Friday. Sometimes on Saturday, I'll be working events in our area tomorrow, giving out high fives. Nobody frowns when they get a high five.
Right.
Right. So now I do it so much. Even the kids at the grocery store, like, "Hey, Trainer Dane," boop, and they give me a high five. We do this thing every now and then called the Power of Positivity, and we'll literally sit at a local coffee shop. And even more so if somebody walks in like in hospital scrubs or a military uniform. And I used to wear scrubs, and I used to wear a military uniform, and I'll walk up and thank them for their service and offer to buy a cup of coffee. And you can spread kindness for $3, and they will talk about it, and they will smile, and they will feel good. And at the end of the day, though, I think I ultimately get more out of it than the person getting the cup of coffee. And that just makes me go ahead.
That's the beautiful thing about it. That's the beautiful thing. And because you feel so good, and you get such a high off of it that you want to do more. And so, I agree totally. Like it's selfish in a good way.
In a good way. I think that when you do it, if you expect nothing in return, that's the best way to do it. But there is a part of you that, like, I feel good. I made somebody's day. Who doesn't? And no matter how much we say we don't want to be liked, that's not really true. Don't we all want to be liked in some way? In business, they're going to be people that kind of hate on you for following your dream. And sometimes that comes from them out of insecurity. But even if somebody says something negative, we're supposed to let it kind of go off our back. It hurts a little. It stings a little, because at the end of the day, why don't they like me?
Yeah, because we're all
You
humans.
just,
We're all
right.
humans. We all have feelings. We all have emotions. And you're right. Like it does sting. And sometimes you're like, oh, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. But then again, that's when you decide, do you keep going forward or are you going to let this stop you? And
Right. And that's when, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go.
No, and that's why when you begin to learn more about yourself and you understand why you were put on this earth, you can't let it stop you. I did a video several years ago called I Was Told No Today. So reaching out, talking to somebody, inviting them into my journey, whatever piece I was doing, probably in health, wellness, and fitness. And at the same time, I wished her the best. I wished her no malice, but at the same, I didn't let it crush my heart.
Yeah.
You can't. I know that we were talking about my dad patting me on the back and saying, this will be you someday. Well, the teacher will appear when the student is ready. And I was really ready. And that was just the linchpin that said, hey, buddy, I just didn't. Part of that story too, even before that, we had just recently moved back to Texas after my time in the service. And there's a SeaWorld in our area. And my dad really wanted to take his granddaughter, my oldest, to SeaWorld. And I don't know if you've ever been in, I know you live in Texas, I live in Texas. It's hot in the summer.
Hot.
Okay? It's hot. It's hot. And when SeaWorld has a parking lot and thousands of people come and Shamu's like the thing, they're also going to put Shamu on the other side of the park. So you got to go through every other thing and buy something. And
those
the kid needs it.
Little marketers.
Right. So my daughter's 3, they can walk, but they're not really going to typically walk a long distance. Yeah. And she didn't want to sit in the stroller, even though I'm sure I put her back and then, oh, baby, I'll carry you. Right. So my dad's chubby little face and her little face was pressed up against his face and they're just sweating. My dad's panting, and just, Dad, I can take her. No, I got her. What's my granddaughter? I haven't, really hadn't been around her for the first 3 years of her life because I lived in Alaska. So we get to Shamu Stadium, she gets a snow cone, she gets a water and big smile and rosy cheeks. My poor dad looked miserable.
Oh, yeah. Because
he just physically wasn't healthy. And that was also like the precursor to I don't want that to be me.
Right.
So I'm a grandfather now of 3 from ages from 7 to 3. So I want to go to the power park where they do tumbling and they're on the monkey bars and whatever, I don't know, whatever we're going to do. Yeah. And everything that we want to do is provide an experience for the kids. It's something they remember and be active. But I wanted to be active with them. I want to be able to get off the ground with them and not have to go, oh, you know what I mean? So that was just very, very important to me.
I love that. So how do you, the physical part is oftentimes easier than the mental part. How do you help your clients or the people that you come in contact, the people in your sphere, how do you help them with their mental block?
Right. So at the end of the day, there's several programs we have, and one of them, I'll just talk about one that's month to month, right? So, but we have a contract that talks about that it's not a legal binding contract.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So if you break the contract, you have to pay it out. But what it says is I, Trainer Dane, will not let my mother, father, brother, sister, work, news, change who I am on my path to where I want to be. I'm just paraphrasing, right?
Yeah, right.
And so all of a sudden you're taking ownership. And then I ask them, give me 3 hard things that you're going to do when you want to quit. Because life is going to punch you in the throat sometime.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Any of us that have a little gray hair or a few wrinkles around our eyes, we lose loved ones. And it's very sad. But I teach also that all emotions are good. They just don't feel good.
Yeah.
So we start right away saying, look, you're going to take responsibility. Here are your 3 action steps. And I hope one of them will be to call me. I don't tell them that up front, but I really call your coach, call your trainer. Maybe it's your pastor. Maybe it's your husband or wife. We're all different. So that's the first piece we do. And then you have access to me during certain hours based on what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And I said, if I'm not with another client or I'm not leading one of my fitness camps, I will answer you. And I had a girl just this week that's like, I don't know why I feel like I'm such a failure. And yet she's a real estate agent full time. I'm selling more homes. I'm doing all these things because we're so hard on ourselves.
Right. Right.
So my job in that instance isn't to tell her what I think she should do.
Right. So listen.
to listen and ask questions, open-ended questions. Well, if you quit today, what will happen?
Right.
If you stay the course, what will happen? How does this make you feel? You have the answer. You absolutely have the answer within you, right? Sometimes the answer may be get up and go for a walk.
Mm.
You know, one of the things when we get back to fitness, everything that I do is going to be wrapped in fitness somehow.
Yeah.
Right. You may not live in my neighborhood and come to in front of me while I'm asking you to do a push-up or anything like that, but I want you to be physically healthy. If you're physically healthy, you can dream bigger, dream often, and dream out loud. Without your health, nothing else matters. Although I usually change that. With your health, everything is possible.
With your health, everything is possible.
Everything.
Yes.
Most of us don't even realize we feel like dirt. I clean that up for podcasts. Until we feel better.
Yeah.
If you're 10 pounds, 100 pounds overweight, you have to carry that with you every single day, and you have no choice until you make a choice to be physically healthier. And look, all of our bodies are beautiful and wonderfully made.
Yep.
But if you can be, I'm not a doctor, I'm never going to tell you not to take your medication. But if I can help reduce your medication dependency, you'll start to feel better.
Yeah.
Not only physically, but cognitively and emotionally, because you're taking charge.
I love that.
You're taking charge. And then we're going to usually pick, especially in a group setting, we're going to pick some sort of book, right? And we're going to read it together. Whether it's right now, I'm finishing up. We have a couple weeks left in the book, A Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
Yeah.
And I love the book, and I've made it, and I have my own Wake Up and Be Amazing, but a lot of it's based on what he's taught. And it's one of the reasons I get up at 3:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. And I'm told oftentimes that's the middle of the night by my friends, not the morning. But in order for me to do my personal development, sit in silence, journal, I don't feel like I haven't. That's not true. We have time for whatever's important to us.
Right.
But I have dedicated time with just the dogs and I from 3:30 to 4:30 a.m. That's our time.
Yeah.
And then I can give. That's why I fill my cup so I can give.
And that's so important. That's so important. Like people give, and never fill back up. And you have to fill back up in order to keep giving. Because if you don't, then that's when you hit a wall and you can't
burn out, right?
Yeah. So I love that you have that scheduled in.
And again, it's easy to let go of it. It's easy to overschedule. It's easy because we're givers.
Yep.
It's why I like to cook. Because I get to give and feed, and people say, it's delicious. Well, thank you. It makes you feel good. But one of my 2020 goals was to take care of my physical body better. So I just felt like in building a new business for the last 18 months, it was, I got to put food on the table. I got to pay the light bill. I got to pay the car payment. I got a mortgage. The dogs actually need food, right? Toothpaste really costs money. So, and I'm blessed my wife has a good job. But I want to be an equal giver in that.
Of course.
So I'm running. I have a half marathon on Sunday, and that's just my thing, right? And I don't even care. I just want to show up. I want to finish. And if there's a kid in a crazy crawdad outfit, it's in San Antonio, Texas. Maybe there'll be a guy named David Bowie or Davy Crockett. I have no idea. But I'm going to stop and take a picture with him. I'm wearing my kilt anyway. So I'm already going to stand out. So anyway. Thank you. So one of those was to take care of my physical being, because I will also do a lecture and a thing called Self-Care Isn't Selfish. But my wife will throw that back at me. She goes, remember, self-care isn't selfish. So I do tend to burn the candle at both ends. Yeah. It's part of my why and my journey again. But at the same time, I've got to do it. I know I talk a lot, but one of the things I do teach you, that's how we work with clients. I call them champions, by the way.
Oh, champions. I like that.
Very champion. But I said, what are 3 non-negotiables in your life? And if they really are, then you need to examine where you are. Right? For me, God and faith is a given. So I didn't put that as one of mine. Okay. Now, a lot of people will do that, and it's yours.
Yeah.
But I put my health as number 1.
Love that.
And I don't feel like I was doing that. I can't love my kids, my wife, my grandkids, love you as a godly person if I don't care for me. I also said my wife. So I've been married. This is my 3rd marriage, actually, but I don't ever want to get married again.
Yeah, gotcha. No, I understand.
I want to pour into her, which means I need to write her a love note. I need to make her coffee. One of her five love languages is acts of service, which means doing the laundry without being asked or sweeping the floor without being asked shows my love. Mine is time. I just want to sit in the same room. But we have to know that about each other.
Yes.
And then my others is my mission, which is to educate, motivate, and empower you to leading to lifelong independent living, which means so that's my why. So on days when I'm tired, exhausted, don't want to do it, I'm still going to, when that woman told me no, then I bless her for whatever. And I want you to find whatever you're looking for. I'm just not it. I'm also confident enough to tell you that I don't know if we're meant to work together.
Yeah.
But I will help you find the person that you are to work together.
I love that.
I believe in thank you. Yeah. I believe in abundance. There is so much out there that if I'm not the life coach, if I'm not the personal trainer, there are plenty of men and women now globally, like you and I are. We're 300 miles apart.
Right. Having a great conversation. Yeah.
Right. So even recently I was at a fitness event, selling what we do and explaining. And really I start with, tell me something about you or your story. And I sent a woman to a competitor.
Nice.
And my colleague looked at me. I said, I don't really think where she is, we're the right fit. And we shook hands and I give her my phone number. I'm like, you can call me. You can find me at Trainer Dane on Facebook, Trainer Dane on Instagram, reach out. At the same time, when the right person in her life comes, she'll refer them to us.
Correct. And that's beautiful. That is beautiful that you do that instead of saying, no, come to me. No, let's find the right fit for you and for me. Because if it's not a good fit, then in the long run, it's going to be more heartache than helpful.
For both of you.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no, it's funny because every time I tell a story about a champion or one of my campers, that's what we call our physical fitness because it's Camp Gladiator. My wife says, do you realize every time, number one, you smile and you say, I really like them. And but your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Yep. And I love that your wife is your champion too, because she holds that mirror up for you and says, you need to take care of yourself. You need to do these things as well. And so that's beautiful that you have that type of partnership where you both recognize what each other needs and how to help each other live and move in this world.
Absolutely. And no relationship is perfect. It's still hard. It's still a challenge.
Right.
But we didn't find each other till we're in our 40s. I'm like, girl, we still could have 40 years together. So we bring a lot of life. In our very first date, we said we would never get married. I was like, there's no way. We're going to talk. Yeah. We're going to have a glass of wine. Yeah. You're really nice, but I'm not getting married. Like, this is just whatever it's going to turn into.
Right.
And then pretty much every waking moment, except for business or those kind of things, we were together. And then we used to run, Tanya's had, unfortunately, 3 Achilles tendon surgeries over the last 3 years. So it's made it hard to do a lot, but we used to run all over the country. Like we call them racecations. Like, I love people. I want to go take a picture with the guy in the crawdad outfit. I want to sit at a restaurant bar in New Orleans or San Francisco and talk to the local. And but she ran the America's largest all women's half marathon in Central Park.
Oh, nice.
So I loved it because first of all the guys are wearing like tutus or crowns, and it's your nephew, it's your brother, your granddad, because we're cheering on. But I proposed at the end of the race.
Oh, wow.
So we want to try to get back to New York City this year. It's been several years. And our goal, I would love for her to run with me again, but I really wanted to be pain-free. That's really more important than anything else.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course.
Yeah,
you don't want her
sure.
Well, listen, you have a beautiful spirit. I love your energy. I love your vibe. I love what you're doing in the world, making sure that people are getting healthy mentally and physically and going out there and being their best selves and being amazing. And you are truly amazing. And just keep doing you, keep being that force that you are in this world. And
thank you.
And just keep shining the light, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was, we've actually never met, and yet we have. I think we have a kindred spirit.
I agree.
And I love watching. Thank you. I love watching your live videos. I have sent friends to watch what you're doing, and let's live a great story, make kind loud, and wake up and be amazing every single day.
Every single day, because you have that choice. Trainer Dane, thank you so much. It has been a true pleasure chatting with you today, and I hope the rest of your day is beautiful, because I know it will be, because you're going to make it amazing.
Absolutely. You have an absolutely wonderful day. And here's my last message for everybody. Make sure today you tell everybody that you love them and never assume they know.
Oh, that is the perfect ending. I love that. I love that. Thank you for that. This has been Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Today we talked to Trainer Dane, who had tons and tons of fabulous nuggets for us. And remember, as he just said, go out there and tell someone you love them and don't assume they know. You guys have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next week with a new guest on Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Thank you.